Well, happy Sunday to you. Because I've posted the I am what I am not as a part one, is that I've been intending all day to give a part two. I'm sure by now you've got my enthusiasm. You might have made a decision on my biblical interpretation and knowledge. The thing that I kind of feel I didn't get across yesterday is there's many parts I want to talk to and maybe expand upon. In talking about credentials, is about talking about the times that I experienced God, that He's spoken to me. I mean, we're encouraged to be in prayer without ceasing, so our conversation is a thing that we should develop to be just a natural part of our everyday life, and for whatever reason that conversation has been there for a long time. And yes, it's got more consistent the further I've gone, and I was about to say more reverent, although to be honest, in the last few weeks I've been struggling and railing at the Lord. The Lord knows. I mean, it doesn't take away about those times that have happened before, and I've spoken about them in various sermons. The time in India when I left my job and the bougainvillea blossom was walking through a desert. I mean, this scrubby, dusty, hot desert for miles in every direction, and the moment that I encounter God, I am in the 20 feet, 5 meter, over my ankle deep pool of pink blossom. It was magical. Every encounter with God is magical. There's no other way around it or other way of saying it. It's beyond my comprehension. It's beyond my understanding, and it's something that's very special. And yet we're told in the Bible that no man should boast. There's nothing special about me. I'm not doing anything other than paying attention to Him, and I don't deserve it. In between those times and away from that and outside of that, I've failed to achieve on a fairly massive scale. Oh, well, you've come around the world. Oh, well, you've taught for 15 years in schools, in different environments. God's been with me, and God's directed and guided me. Man may choose his steps, but no, man may choose his path, but the Lord will direct his steps, it says in the Bible. And sometimes I feel it's the extent of my imbecility and my brokenness and incapableness, whatever you want to call it, the thing that relates to my post-traumatic stress disorder, that makes me an attractive proposition to the Lord. That He loves me. But I don't believe it's, oh, well, that's, well, I'm better than anyone. It's open to everybody. This is what we should all be experiencing. What I want to share. It's not some dry and thankless walk. I mean, Lord. Yeah, I know that in that is also the faith that moves mountains, when people will step and continue to step towards God and to live in a righteous and upright life, even though they don't see Him or they don't feel Him, they don't sense His presence. That's trust. That's what Jesus said. You brood of vipers. You want to see miracles. And I've seen miracles, and the most wasteful and persistent going the other way. And I want to share it. That's the whole point of church. That's why I step out and I preach. I don't just preach in the countryside. I preach in the streets and in the temples and the synagogues and the churches and the fellowships and all these places. I try and express a walk and a talk and an experience of my relationship with Christ, a testimony. And my sharing the understanding and extol and exhort and build and pray and preach and do those things because I feel compelled to give out crosses and make crosses and cards and run the websites and speak, take communion, wash feet, be about the things of the Lord and about His business and being excited about it and moving. Don't stop and that doesn't happen, and take time. And I don't do that enough. Take time and go out and experience the Lord. And it's amazing. You meet Him there. 100 times, 1,000 times better than you expect because it's Him. He is real. His arm is not too short that He doesn't reach us, and His ear is not so deaf that He doesn't hear us, and His eye is not so dim that He doesn't see us, and He's there and willing to meet us. And it is like dolphins jumping and aurora maying. It's brilliant, an expression of God's love. And yes, then should I then come back and sit in my place of homing and be depressed and upset that things aren't going the way that I feel they should be? It's not just about me. There's other people in the world and other people in relationship and other people with responsibilities, and what I'd hope and pray for is a community of people with like-minded expression, people to stand shoulder to shoulder with in the fight against evil, in the brilliance that is the community of the people of God. And if I'm to set up a church, it's about that. It's about get back to basics. Stop looking for the complicated, theologically speaking, should this happen? What does Jesus say? Go out, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your mind and all your soul. Love your neighbours as you love yourself, and go out into the world and make disciples of all nations. There's enough in that to build a church on, and how do we do that? Well, come together and worship, extol and exhort each other, and train, be in the spiritual gymnasium. Why am I so enthusiastic? Every time I see God, it's amazing, and it's in the 10s and 20s and 40s, and often it's expression. Of course, you'll want to see it. How can we see that? I've seen the waters of the tide turn and stand up several inches. Well, not a wall, but it's stood up. God showing me that He can. He can do that. The scent. We shared a scent of heaven, just a momentary. Sense of what heaven's like. I've seen Him robed in majesty and wrapped in dark clouds and lightning and rainbows and that parting and opening and the sunshine and the column of light, I've experienced this. Whether people believe it or they don't believe it, they say, it's just the weather, or the clashing of cymbals. I don't know. That's not the point. I've seen it. I declare it. That's what I've seen regularly. Majesty, and magic and awesomeness of the King of Heaven. Something beyond a normal sunny day. And that's what convinces me. And I don't have any confidence because the whole of the earth, everybody I know, opposes that viewpoint. Doesn't accept it, refutes it. No, you're not special. No, there's nothing going on. It's just you, your weirdness, your peculiarity. And it's not like you get to share in it every day. It's not like I get to speak about it. Why? I don't know. Because of that boasting thing, I think. Because of the idea that I don't want to stand out and say, oh, well, I'm different because... I was driving I woke up driving down the motorway at 95 miles an hour, drifting into a concrete central reservation at night, inches away from it. And a voice like... not a voice, not like a spoken voice, but like your body. Don't turn the wheel. Don't turn the wheel. Don't turn the wheel. Just like that. Not shouting, not forceful. Just, we're awake, I'm drifting into the central reservation, don't turn the wheel. And I don't turn the wheel. And what I know after, in the aftermath, in the afterwards, if I had turned the wheel, I'd be dead. So would the passenger. 95 miles an hour, it wasn't a airbagged and super safe thing. It was an Isuzu Trooper Jeep in not very good condition with huge, chunky off-road tyres. And if I turned the wheel, the tyres would have bit. They would have come into contact with the central reservation first, and concrete and rubber have a great tendency to agree with each other, and the Jeep would have been all over it. I mean, I can go through the scrapes and the fights and the accidents and things. And there's one, oh, well, that's an accident. Yeah, that's just coincidence. Sat out round with a group of people when I'm 7, 8 years old in a campsite in Spain. Everyone convivial, there's drinking, and I'm not drinking, but joining in and laughing and joking. And I feel sick. And I get up off the chair and I go around the corner and I just vomit baked beans. I remember it, looking down and thinking, why have we just been sick baked beans? There's no reason for me to be ill. It wasn't difficult, it was just baked beans. Why? And I go back round the corner and I turn into the scene, which is like something out of a movie. Everybody's looking at my seat with their mouths open. Where I've been sitting, the huge old-fashioned iron pump-filled gas lamp had dropped off its stand and dropped right through the seat. Probably a 10 kilo lamp made of iron. That was coincidence. And the guy hit me with a claw hammer and was going to kill me. My friend had fought off the other guy and just came through at the moment to bundle him off me before he killed me. It's coincidence. I mean, things like that happen every day. We miss or we don't miss, and then there's people that fall foul of the, fall the other side of it and don't come out of it and do get killed and beaten and what have you. And they don't get a chance to stand up and say, no, God didn't show up for me. What are we saying? I can't speak for them. I can speak of the things and the wonders. I've climbed mountains and grey skies, and just a cross opens through blue. I don't know if you can see them. I don't. What do you fear? Oh, I fear it's an emotional, chemical imbalance thing, a fantasy that I'm making up. That God's not really there. And I remember the times when He has been. And that's why I find a church. That's where I am. It's because of a position and an attitude and a belief, and certainly a going out into the world and going into different churches and going, that's not in the Bible. You're not doing the things in the Bible. You're not sharing the things in the Bible. You're not, some of them are actively going against the Bible. And that's what the Bible says. So I can't find a church, a fellowship where I can find comfort. If I was still in my hometown, I believe I'd come into conflict eventually, even with the best expression of church that I've been in. You're too comfortable. And what about the higher order spiritual things? Well, they're part of that. Your mind wanders and I don't know about the Archangel Michael stuff. I know it's expected in certain quarters, and there are many idiosyncrasies about my upbringing, about the places that I've been, about the things that I've seen, and about that relationship with God. I claim nothing for myself. It's all about Jesus. There's no greater expression of love. There's no greater act. There's no greater person. All the greats, the leaders, the changers, the movers and shakers, whatever you want to call them, they rise and fall and they go away. But Jesus is the Son of God. He's the way, the truth and the life. It's only by accepting that will anything change. We change it now, we can change it now, and we will experience the blessing of God. Or we can leave it and carry on with the way that we're doing, and we'll experience the wrath of God. I know there are people and believers working, and there's many that are doing a better job than I am, helping and being organised, and I know that there are brothers on the internet speaking the truth and trying to speak out and to relay the message, but like me, they're speaking on their own, so I'm just joining in. No, I'm not just joining in. I'm joining in. I'm moved to set up a church. I'm moved to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I'm moved to do it whether nobody shows up, or just the ducks show up, or just, I know we need two there for the Lord to be there. If the Lord is with me anyway, then what can stand against me? Maybe it's just necessary that someone speaks the truth into a video camera for the entirety of his life and is never heard by another person than I was going to say woman, than a woman that I admire. Carpe Crucis. The crosses will go out, and the cards will go out, and the occasional $10 will go on publication, on promotion. If I lose the whole world and just have the Lord, it's enough for me. I said that tonight. If all my headstone says is Michael Robert Jackson, Christian, enough. It's made me angry, it's made me sad, it's made me frustrated. But as this world is not the same as that world, the place where we'll go. And even if I don't make it there, even if there's a need for someone to stay behind, to close the door, to hold off the just do it anyway. He's still worth it. He's still God. He's still Jesus. He's still the Holy Spirit. He's still brilliant, 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 amazing, perfect, wonderful, Counselor, Guide, Captain, King, awesome, mighty, brilliant God. He's still that. He will never change. He'll never not be that. And I change. I fail. I stand up and sit down. And that's who I am. And if you want to hear more, you can hear more. This is sermon number 30. This is actually sermon number 40, but we're making it sermon number 39, part 2. I am Michael Robert Jackson. I won't be saying my name very often. I love you, whoever you are, if you're listening. I love you with a strength and a fierceness that one man can have for another person. It transcends other love. I am lousy with my sexual appetite. I thank the Lord for the protection of it. But if you can find in your heart to transcend as well and not be caught up in that and not rebuttal any advances, if I ever get a chance to meet you and make you, then between us that's a relationship that honours God. Carpe Crucis, seize the cross, not seize the day, seize the cross every day, pick it up, take it up, do the things, praise Him, develop a prayer life. That's what we'll work towards, Pray for the saints, pray for the church, pray for the people, pray for your communities, pray for your friends, your enemies, work it all out. It's all been said and done what we have to do. We just have to practice doing it and then doing it and going about the places, going to the churches and going to the streets and going to the stores and the supermarkets and preach the gospel. Jesus Christ saved mine. Share our testimony. Jesus Christ saved my life. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Jesus is the only way. That He is the truth and the life, and all good things are bound from Him and are available to you now. Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and people in the church with dry lives. And will be available forever in the future. If we can become that church, if we can repent and ask Him to come in, He will come. Because the alternative is that things get worse. And things get much worse, can get much worse. It won't be just about taking away our freedoms, it'll be about taking away the things we take for granted, the things that we forget to give thanks for, the things that we don't acknowledge God for. So the sun rose yesterday, today, tomorrow, pray. So the rain fell, the clouds parted, the sun came out, the birds sang and the trees swayed in the breeze. The clouds passed slowly overhead. And it's chilly, But I've got clothes to make me warm, there's a roof and lights go on and off, and when I turn a tap, water falls out. Clean water. I have cups and socks and glasses and access to medical attention, TVs and computers, a daughter. And my prayer is that a church like that can propagate. But I also know it doesn't have to propagate now, because I'm recording it, because I'm speaking and preaching to nobody. The opportunity's there that still people can share this stuff, and they can hear the word maybe from 100 years hence or whatever, or from the other side of a nuclear war. And maintain hope, and that I can pass on, and then I can't have that horrible responsibility of having people depend on me, or backsliding or going down the wrong path. But in my expression and in my walk, I upheld him, I upheld the truth, I passed the test, ran the race, clumsily, late, dramatically at times. But with that one degree of success that grants me entrance to his presence, just for a moment. Because every time it's there, it's there. Kim Walker-Smith says, if you've been touched by Jesus, you know it. It's not something like, oh, did that just happen? Changed. All the things the Bible talks about, a new creation, a new heart, a new life, a new beginning, a new understanding, a work in progress, something that it's God's work, it's Jesus' work. He will see it to completion. Drop and fall, as long as you're not willful in your disobedience, and I mean, you have to be pretty willful. You can repent and take it up again. Carpe Crucis. And over the days, the more you see it, the more you feel like, even the things that I used to do, I can let them go. And if I pass on, and this is a recording you're listening to, whether it's from the other side of a nuclear war, or whether there's still the opportunity to prevent it, like preaching the gospel and bringing people to repentance. It's not our job to bring people to repentance. The churches you go into, it's like, oh, yes, our job is to win souls, save souls. We don't do any of that. The Holy Spirit does it. God likes to work through his people. That's what relationship is, and sharing and experience. It's wonderful. So I wanted to add that to yesterday's confession. No. Synopsis of my life. There was a part I wanted to expand upon, I don't remember which one. All of them in a way. Because with all the difficulties and all the different things. That's what kept me motivated and kept me moving. There was always that little bit of, come on, keep going. And there's times I've despaired. Smashed up bedrooms, smashed up a flat. Well, started to. I lost it. The frustration built and built and built and built and built. You try and carry stuff in your own strength. We're so unable to do it. And I lost it. Punched the door. Headbutted the door. Bathroom door. And the door smashed. The water thing of the toilet. There was water all over the place. Just as the water poured out, it was like the whole frustration poured out of me. Second trip to the mental health unit, 2004. So there was like a 2-year gap between the first time and the second time. The first time was because of the medical condition coming out of the slip disc and all the problems and horrors of that. The second time was about coming out of that and being corrected and then going back into the same life. Thinking you can do drink and drugs again. Yeah, drugs again. Drink and drugs. Qualified scientist, qualified engineer, qualified school teacher, lots of levels and different subjects. Taught, worked for and with some of the largest companies of the world, at director level down to shop floor. I've taught primary, everything, primary through to seniors and adults, proficient in computers. Appreciation of art, literature, music, language. Been a painter, decorator, PC repairman, salesman. I did Betterware catalogue sales in winter for a short period of time. Crewman, dolphin spotter, guide, waiter, barman. Office junior, marquee erector, farm worker, factory worker, odd job man, I once sawed through, handsaw, a 6-foot 8mm ply sheet, kneeling on a wall. So the sheet was balanced on a wall, maybe 8 inches across. I couldn't see. I was cutting down the middle. I couldn't see, so I just had to pray and saw cut and pray that I didn't kind of wander offline and just fall off the wall. It was like a 4-foot, 5-foot high wall. I was teaching in India and I was cutting a jigsaw line, and my mouth was literally moving, and the student was watching me and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm praying. Pray for the cut to be right. Pray without ceasing. Everything you do, every moment." Video gamer. I could be a concert pianist. I've played lots of video games. Other jobs, don't know if there's a job. That's enough for now. I've been a roadie for bands. Sang a few tunes myself, then worship team, volunteer, Garrison Library, brilliant in Gibraltar, and Glasses Estate. I just cleaned a garden up, a grotto. Now I'm a preacher, and that's who I'm putting myself forward to be. That's the point of part 1 and part 2 of the I am, not I am. I'm not Jesus. I'm going to be a like and type of him. I pray I get better at it, but I have my moments. That's who I am. Redeemed. Yeah, saved. I have to keep working. Because if we let slip, we can lose our redemption. Called and chosen. Shaped. Forged. Forged again. Heated, reheated, 2 alpha courses. Blessed fellowship in the UK. Wrecked home life. A wrecked career. I was banned from Monarch Airlines for 3 years, 4 years, for a very clumsy and quite violent assault on a man who not only insisted on using his mobile phone during a flight, and certainly as the flight was coming to land, and also became argumentative, rude, and eventually threatening. It's not something I'm proud of, it's something I regret deeply, and even though it was joked about and even condoned a little by the police because of the nature of the incident and the person that did it to, I was very thankful for the Lord to repeat the situation after I came to Christ, and to show me just how effective he can be in solving issues like that. Grace is an excellence of purpose, of movement. Oh, I know about the unmerited favour. In that grace and excellence of movement, there's a purposefulness of excellence of movement. When you see God move, it's like that. It's like no other thing. Elegant. Perfect. And I've seen that, and that's again, I want to share that so other people can see it. Until other people see it. And I'll baptise, and I'll lift up and carry and prayerfully meet needs, and pray down strongholds and break chains and bonds, not through my strength and authority, but by the power and authority of the Holy Spirit. And if God chooses to move in me, then that will happen. I said, recording a ministry that for another time, where my what did Paul say, that I'm accused that my letters spoke louder than my actions, my presence. And let me assure you, my presence speaks loudly too. It may be a little bit too brutal for an age to come. So we'll see. I'm going to put invites out to sermon number 40. I reckon it must be close to being a year's work. And pray into establishing Carpe Crucis Church on a wider level. Not that I might be glorified or lifted up, but if anything, that I might become less and he become more, and that people can be reached, or some people can be reached, or lots of people can be reached. And this be the church, the one that is spoken about, the one that goes through the other churches and draws in his church to be lifted up, to be his bride on the day of his return, glorious return. That the answer to when the Son of Man cometh, will he find faith in all the earth, will be a cheering cacophony of rejoicing, upward turning, upward looking, receiving, rejoicing people. Come, Lord Jesus. Yes, come. Bride is waiting. We're waiting for you. We wait for you. Amen. Thanks for listening, and may the Lord occupy your way, your week. May His Holy Spirit reveal things in your life, in your walk. And I call you to come and share again in worship, in fellowship, in prayer and praise and admonishment, correction, surrender at Carpe Crucis. Amen.